Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 319. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace, and in this show, we will be discussing a 50-state legal compensator review that I did, Wilson's new 320, a new Strike Eagle, and an extendo slide release. And of course, with me tonight are our normal bunch of, I'm a raccoon wrangler, so they're raccoons today. We got Tony, Zane, and Rob.
Normal to describe us?
As raccoons.
So, do we look like raccoons to you? Do you look like we scrounge around in trash cans? And
don't make me answer that. You guys turn your cameras off. Have you looked at your beard lately, Rob?
Hey, that's my coronavirus beard, baby. I'm working from home, and I don't have to do jack diddly squat beard.
Now,
I don't have to get up. Hey, be lucky you got to take a shower once a day.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
So,
shower.
Tony, Rob, we already know what Rob did in guns, which was
I've been
nothing.
working my butt off this last week and a half, 2 weeks. So
yeah. So, do you want to go before Zane? Because I didn't do anything but read a review. So
yeah, the only thing I did was order some lower parts kits and some parts.
Zane
in dry fire.
Oh yeah, I did a lot of that.
Yep, dry fire, and I just did a Guns 101 with Polite Society podcast, instructing new gun owners on some stuff they should do if this is the first time they own a firearm and they can't take a class. That's what I just finished doing. Zane,
awesome.
What do you do, bro?
Between work and other work, I've been super busy. I haven't done anything, but
yeah, I did.
How's that different than normal?
It's not. I did kind of sneak in to the Shooters Nation podcast, so for there they had.
I snuck onto This Week in Guns either last week or the week before.
The Shooters Nations podcast they had an open Zoom thing. They're like, hey, we're gonna record at 6 my time or something. I don't remember when it was, and I'm like, I'll go jump on there for a while because I wasn't doing anything. So that was kind of fun. So. Go check out more podcasts because that's kind of what we do here, and they're not even part of our network or anything.
I saw Zane on This Week in Guns. That was pretty good. I typed some rude comments in the comment section. If you want to go watch it on video, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, you read that? And last week's was pretty good too. They had Othias and Matt from Firearms Policy Coalition.
Yep. And Phil.
Phil.
Matter of facts. Yeah, it was a good. That was a good
Rabelais.
episode. I enjoyed that one.
I really enjoyed that episode too.
Sean said it was his favorite episode. Did you see what I told him?
I was like, I listened to audio only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah, they put it on screen. Actually doing the show. I was like, you know what? I ain't even mad at you when you said this is your favorite episode because it's mine too. I usually say episodes I'm on are my favorite, but it was good.
It was really, really good. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah, I did too.
So I'll be on this week on This Week in Guns. We record tomorrow.
Right, and it releases what, Friday?
Something like that. And then I have a self-defense podcast that I'm recording Thursday. So this week, I'm busy doing the podcast thing.
Which doesn't surprise any of us, but hey.
And then I released Snitches Get Stitches yesterday.
So I thought we were past.
That was a good one.
I thought we were past that, and they went straight to ditches.
Oh, it was a good one. Thanks, man. I was like, you know what? I'm probably going to lose some people in this one, but I really don't care.
I haven't listened to it yet, but it's.
Well, at least the key tone is to crank out content or just put something out on a regular basis. Otherwise, people will think, oh, he's not putting nothing out, and they'll drop the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, now that we found out that all of us are pretty boring.
You just learned this, Chad?
No, this is for everybody that's watching.
Well, they know. We don't get very many new listeners.
Yeah, at least live, that's for sure.
Well, we had a girl, but we scared her off.
She said she might show back up. I mean, it's not like we kicked her out yet, so. She's just, I don't know about working and her getting home in time, so I just kind of left it open. So if she shows up, she shows up. We'll see. So the announcements, you can go to our gunandgearcult.com and pledge your support for the show. We do have $1, $5, $15, $25 levels. Urban Jaguar is still a $25 supporter. I think it's probably been about a month, but I'm not sure. Bandwidth sponsor is our buddies over at Patriot Patch Co. They do have new patches for pre-order. And yeah, I was looking at them. They have two. One is the 99-cent heart attack, which, you can guess what that is. And then they have the one we're not supposed to say on We Like Shooting, which is, it's a fuel gauge, and in it says retard, and the gauge goes to F. So, I actually thought that one was kind of funny. So Ryan's doing a good job over there. You can always join their Patch of the Month Club, which, of course, I haven't seen mine yet, but I know Jake is working on getting those out. Of course, if you're shopping Amazon, please use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. We do have some affiliate links. One is Matador Arms, and of course, the links are in the show notes or on the Firearms Insider website. And we also have an Amend 2 affiliate link there. So, if you want to go buy something from them, click on it. It gives us a few pennies, dollars, something like that.
Which is a few more pennies than we have right now.
Exactly. It's a few more pennies than what we have right now. Somebody did buy something from Matador Arms the other day. I actually went and looked, and I was like, cool. We got a few pennies. So that was cool. Rob, guess what?
Time to read the disclaimer. I bet a lawyer put this crap together. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-host and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Will you quit pounding on the keyboard, please?
Oh, sorry.
Your discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. And now if he's done pounding on his keyboard, Chad can tell us about the Strike Industries mass comp driver. Or mass driver comp.
I so want to pound on my keyboard no more now.
I thought he was talking to me because I was typing too, and I was like, I could have sworn I muted.
Well, see, I didn't.
You were muted.
I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I thought he was talking to me too because I'm muted.
We're all typing.
It's just annoying when I'm on either this or like a conference call and I'm trying to talk and you just click, 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 click. Okay.
Man, I wish I had one of those super clicker keyboards now. Yes, as Rob said, we do have
these. You?
No.
Crap.
I'm the only one that can mute people. I have the review on the Strike Industries Mass Driver Comp, which you can see on the video if you're actually watching. Of course, always go to the firearmsinsider.tv for the written review and pictures because they're way better than I can show you on this video. So Strike Industries released this a little while back. I don't remember when. It is a 50-state legal comp. So Glock style pistols, Gen 3, Gen 4, G19s and 17s. I received a Gen 3 17 because that's what I asked for. I did install it on my Polymer 80 PF940 V2, which you can kind of see here. And the mass driver is pretty unique in its application, which we will get to in a little bit. I think Strike Industries did everybody a big favor by offering this as 50-state legal, meaning that our buddy Tony there can actually use it, which is always nice. To do this, basically, it does not use a threaded barrel. It uses a special guide rod assembly and some springs. I won't go into the installation because Strike Industries has an awesome video on it. It's really simple, though. You basically take your old guide rod out, put the parts in, and tighten it down with an Allen wrench. You're good to go. The guide rod assembly is pretty much what ties the whole compensator spring system together. Keeps it from twisting side to side too much, which you can kind of see. So it keeps it lined up so you don't shoot the compensator, which could be possible. this particular sample, it rests against the muzzle end of the slide. It has a little finish wear on it in there. I mean, I'm sure you won't be able to actually see it, but right up where it meets the muzzle end of the slide, it's a little wear. Not really enough to matter. The inside of the comp is actually beveled, and I think that's so it squares up with whatever slide you have on it. I am not running a Glock slide, so that could make a difference. Maybe not. And by doing that, the system is also not permanent. So if you want to take it off, all you got to do is unscrew the Allen wrench and put your old guide rod assembly back in. Nothing super complicated. I did just lose my internet for the review I was looking at, which is not much fun, but I can get back to it here in a second. It never fails. Now, I'll get into it. Let's see. One of the unique features of the Mass Driver comp comes from the dual spring system it uses. Part of the reason it's called the Mass Driver comp is because it drives the compensator forward under firing. So as the bullet exits through the comp, it drives the compensator forward. Then the recoil, of course, system drives it backwards and loads a new round, and you're ready to go. As you can see in the photo, I can actually pull against the spring system and move it away from the muzzle. And of course, it also has ports to let muzzle gases escape upwards, sideways, the usual, to reduce recoil by directing gases. The counter recoil system does make it feel a little different than shooting a normally compensated pistol. It's not a bad thing. It's just, if you shoot a lot of pistols, you can notice it. It's different, but I liked it. To me, it actually kind of feels more like if you've ever shot a 22 Magnum pistol that's semi-auto without a compensator. That's kind of what it felt like to me. I'm not saying it reduces the recoil that much, but it's kind of close to that. It does make it more comfortable to shoot. There is that. Now, the Mass Driver did perform well for me. According to my Mantis X10, which we reviewed last week or the week before, I don't know, a while back, the recoil reduction in like muzzle rise and width wise, it's hard to explain, 30 to 50% on average. So it does actually work. Most of that was with 115 grain full metal jackets. Excuse me. The hotter loads may actually help reduce recoil more because on a compensator system, the hotter sometimes directs more gas, which makes it work a little better. I did notice that every once in a while, the first shot off would not shoot to the point of aim, like it would be a little off. I'm guessing that's because the comp didn't seat fully against the muzzle correctly. And it was always the first shot, so caused by hand cycling as opposed to, the gun recoil doing it. Hey, it is what it is. It didn't prevent me first shot from ringing like 10-inch plates at 15 yards. So it's not super noticeable, but you do, if you put it on a rest and shoot it on paper, you could notice it a little bit. I also ran some 124 full metal jackets through it without any problems. It's got quite a few rounds through the comp, and I had very, very few malfunctions. Me personally, I only had 2 failures to eject with my least favorite 9mm, which is Winchester white box. And I had some. And usually when I test these things, I run a bunch of different ammo through it. And other people have problems with Winchester white box, so it's not really a big deal.
That could totally be the ammo.
Exactly. I'm like, I'll put it in here, but it's not really, that big of a deal.
Only thing worse, steel case.
No, I have better luck with steel case ammo.
Yeah,
but
I was
Really?
gonna say
I do.
I was gonna say I got a buddy who shot a 94 at 25 on a 25 yards on a B8 the other day with Wolf steel case.
Oh yeah,
I just don't like it. I use
I
it.
don't either.
I just don't like
I
it.
don't.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's worth mentioning that
Exactly.
you had the malfunctions, but it is. I would seriously take that with a grain of salt, being
Right.
Winchester white box.
Exactly. Now, I did have other people shoot this. They had a few more malfunctions, but to me, the I'm thinking that the people that shot it just didn't have a good enough grip on the handgun. Like the grip was too large for their hands, stuff like that. Just basically grip it. A good grip on the gun will help because you can limp wrist any gun, but it's more noticeable with a compensator on it. Uh, that's more of a public service announcement because that's not really a problem with the compensator. It's just, hey, it can be more noticeable with a compensator.
Well, and the other thing is with anything you do to your gun, like if you're gonna get a gun and shoot out of the box, it should work. If
Right.
you start screwing around with the gun and start doing things to it, you got to vet that because
Yeah.
now you're doing things
That's
that the
on
gun
you.
wasn't designed to do. So is it going to work for you with the ammo you've chosen reliably? And that's on you to figure that out. So
Exactly. So, I do believe that Strike Industries made the Mass Driver comp for post-apocalyptic movies, though, because if you look at the pictures, you look at it, it looks like to me it should come straight out of a Mad Max movie. That's just me. But it does function as well, so I can't really say too much. It's pretty much the same width as a Glock slide. It does add about 1.5 inches to the length of the pistol. So if you have open bottom holsters, it should still usually fit. I have 3 different open bottom holsters, and I didn't have any problems with it fitting in any of them. Of course, it sticks out the end of them. It makes it about the same length as like a Glock 17L, if that helps anybody visualize the length. I'm glad that somebody
Would
came. Yeah, go
this
ahead.
on a Glock, would this on a Glock 19 work in a Glock 34 holster?
I believe it might.
Because that's kind of where I'm at with
Or-
comps. If I can put it on a 19 and put it in a 34 holster,
He's saying, what kind of holster?
You'd have to look.
I mean, my gold standard Safari Land, but I mean any Glock 34
I just
holster.
say chop the foot of it off, or the bottom part of it, and
You'd have to look to see how much longer a 34 is than a 19, and if it's under 1.5 inches longer, then it should fit. That's my opinion. Right? If that helps you.
Yes.
I know. Like I said, I'm glad Strike Industries came out with an effective 50 state legal compensator. Typically, I find that compensators that don't like screw on and stuff are kind of but this one actually works well. I really do like how it works. It does what it's supposed to, and the price on these is far less than even some screw-on comps. So you don't need a barrel. It's inexpensive. It's kind of the best of both worlds.
Hey Zane. Hey Zane.
Yo.
I have a Glock 34 holster here. Yeah, it looks like it'll have room because I have a Gen 2 Glock 19, and there should be enough
There you go.
room.
Yeah,
There
that
we
should
go.
make it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's about right.
Just should make it.
So, it performed way better than I expected. If you live in one of those non-free states like Tony, this is probably a really good option for you. Now, of course, I think it's still a good option even if you live in a free state. So go give the Mass Driver a look. I really think you will probably be surprised in it.
Now, you said this is for Gen 3s and Gen 4s, right?
Correct.
No Gen 5 yet?
Not yet.
Because Gen 5 barrels are money. There's no reason to ever replace that barrel. Because they're just great. So they need to come out with one of these for a Gen 5 because
Right.
so that aftermarket barrels for Gen 5 Glocks are stupid because your stock barrel will shoot better than you can.
Well, most barrels will. So
Well, yeah, that's most barrels for most pistols.
Well, I can actually outshoot a Gen 4 Glock barrel, OEM barrel. I cannot outshoot a Gen 5 barrel.
Gotcha. So, Firearms Insider, 8 key points. Claim to fame, of course, 50 state legal Glock compensator. Target market, pretty much anybody who wants a compensator without a threaded barrel. Features and benefits. No threaded barrel, you kind of already got that. The counter recoil design. As the slide moves back, the comp moves forward to reduce felt recoil. CNC machined. There is no permanent modifications. It is compatible with most open bottom holsters. The dimensions I got when I measured it was it's 1.675 inches long, 1.03 inches wide, and 1.43 high. And the height is because of the bottom. It kind of mates up with your dust cover, even though it is narrowed so that it will still fit in holsters like Zane was talking about. It does include everything you need, and it is manganese phosphate finished. They do make it for the Gen 4. There's a couple reviews and stuff people are saying. Now, the price point, MSRP, $89.95. And that's from them. But if you go to our show notes, they gave us a discount code for one mass driver comp. It is in there, but I mean, it's SI10, number 10, SI10% FS2M. It's easier just to go to firearmsradio.tv once this podcast releases and look for the Gun and Gear Review podcast and go there. But, it is there. It's 10% off code, as you probably could guess. Now, so if you need it now, of course, Strike Industries. Primary Arms also does have it, $79.99. I think originally they were selling it before Strike Industries, but don't quote me on that. So the pros, recoil reduction. Imagine that. Inexpensive, fits in many holsters. There are no permanent modifications, and it is 50 state legal. The cons, the first shot was off a little bit, and the slide wear on the end. That was pretty much it. I gave it a score of 8, which is great. In the article, I did not mention that I tried it on a different slide also, and I also tried this setup on a different frame, and they both worked good there. So I didn't have any problems with it, so it's good to go in my opinion. I liked it. That was it. You guys probably don't have any more questions, but do you?
Actually, yeah. Just a comment. I think it's funny that they put that little caution hot sign on the right side of it.
It can get hot, but yeah.
Well, I figured that goes under the no duh.
Mm-hmm.
But I like how it's beveled on the bottom, so I'm assuming even with the comp on there, you can still get like flashlights and crap on and off the pistol.
Yes. For instance, I have this Mantis X10 sitting here.
Wait, did you review that last week?
Yeah, and I can slide it right on.
Oh, okay.
And just slide it right off. So, yes. Thank you, Rob. Tony? No.
Hey, you didn't stipple that pistol, did you?
What?
Did you stipple that pistol? When you got in the review?
No, just on the gas pedal. The rest is actually the stippling
from the factory?
From the yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Zane, you're back. Anything? Oh, he's gone again.
And he's gone
Bye,
again.
Zane. And bye-bye.
Probably there's wrong phone. So, now that we're done with the Strike Industries Mass Driver Comp review, we can get into our product spotlight and discussion. First
Not
up,
a review.
Not a review. First up, Tony asked me to put this in there, or said, hey, let's put this in there, so I did. It's the Wilson Combat WCP320. MSRP is $11.95 plus.
Wow.
Right, which for something from Wilson Combat is probably not that bad.
Okay, yeah, true.
It is their worked over SIG 320. So 9mm, 17 round capacity, 4.7-inch barrel, 8.25 inches long. Sight radius is 6.7 inches. It's 5.5 inches tall, 1.5 inches wide total. It weighs 29 ounces unloaded pretty much and 36 ounces loaded. It comes with the Wilson Combat Carry Grip Module. You can get it in either black or tan. So it's their grip module. It has Wilson Combat X-Tac P320 slide with machine bevels. You kind of have to look at it. They're machined, and then it's like a diamond plate pattern kind of on the slide. It is a DLC finish on the slide and barrel. It's got front and rear cocking serrations, which kind of went over. It's got that same X-Tac pattern on the top. It's got their carry cut, which I think is kind of cuts under the trigger guard, but kind of in more, it looks like. I'm not exactly sure on that, so don't quote me on it. Of course, it has their logo on the slide. It's got Wilson Combat's battle sights with rear fiber optic and with red fiber optic front sight. Sorry. It uses a SIG slide stop and mag release. It uses the X full size steel trigger, and it comes with 2 magazines. It does have a beveled mag whale, a rail, of course, special serial numbers with the WC prefix. I was trying to say, I thought somewhere I saw that their grip frame is kind of considered a medium. Maybe. I don't know if Tony caught that or not. It is a full size, if that helps. You can get it with either a curved trigger or straight trigger, and I don't think it changes the price. But yeah, that's how it is. It looks cool. I'm glad you can get it with a straight trigger. I'm like, it's basically a Wilsonized 320. That's my opinion on it. Rob, Zane, Tony? Oh, no, Zane.
Yeah, so is Zane back?
No.
He was
Okay.
Here gone.
So I ran across this and I was like, okay, I want to learn more about this. So, I look into it, I check it out, I compare it with other things on the market, and I was totally prepared to trash this as just another high-end, what do you call them, semi-custom maybe, company putting their name on something, not doing anything. You know what I mean? So I went through it, and dude, I think this might be the only thing Wilson Combat ever made that's a decent deal.
I might be, say something about that. Yeah.
Started around $2,500, right?
Yeah. So I went looking through it, and I'm looking at the cuts, and of course, a lot of it is Wilson Combat grip, Wilson Combat this, and for the price they're asking for it, outside of, I think they charge extra for the if they do trigger work. Like, I don't think you get a trigger job with this, which is really weird.
No,
you get
they
the straight
do.
Trigger.
It's $1,350 with an action tune.
Yeah,
is what it says. I'm looking for right, and that's all they really say.
And that I have a problem with. Yeah, $155 extra for the trigger job, but I'm like, dude, why wouldn't you do that already? I mean, for the amount of money you're asking. Because I went and looked up Danger Close. That's another company, Danger Close Armament, and they do their thing too, and they dance around. They tell you, it has a diamond coating just like Wilson Combat. They have their own cuts. It looks a lot like Agency Arms cuts. And I'm trying to find whether they do a trigger job too, but they don't say it. And I'm assuming if they did it, it would be right on the website. So maybe this is the going rate of it. But I'm looking at it going, this is not horrible. I mean, you got the Wilson Combat thing going on. And you got something that's kind of sort of, it's tricked out as you can pretty much get a SIG P320. But I do throw this out there. And just like Zane said about the last product, once you start messing with it, it's not that same SIG P320 that passed the military trials. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It is.
And
No, but
I
it
would say
does
it's
come
not
with a Wilson Combat warranty, though.
right.
But you still got to run the rounds through it.
Well, you should do that
yeah.
with any firearm you purchase.
Yes, but I mean, there's an assumption that if you picked up, the Glock 19X, you can run the rounds through it. But there's a good assumption that it's gonna rock and it's gonna work, and it hasn't been Gucci'd up. But once you start doing the slide cuts and lightening up the slide and cutting into the frame, there's a chance that it could suck. I mean, because this is worked on by people and it's not what the manufacturer intended. But Wilson Combat has a long tradition of making decent guns and doing decent work on it. But again, no one should get a pass on your self-defense firearm. But I was looking at it and I'm like, dude, again, I came into this wanting to, compare it to other things. And my assumption was that it was going to be overpriced. And I really don't think it is.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but what are they actually doing to make it a better gun other than the cosmetic stuff? You have to pay another $150 for the trigger job, right?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you get better sights.
It's better sights, their slide, their frame,
and their stipple job,
their grip module. Yeah, and that's literally what you get for the base price.
Okay,
but that's what everybody's doing.
That's cool. Then go for it.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, and this is funny because I know they did have them on sale. Wilson used to sell just their grip module for like $89. So now, boom, you got it. And you can put your sights on there for another, a little bit and then
even
get the great
$200 for sights.
Yeah. And and then you get the Grey Ghost Precision Trigger Job. I think that not Grey Ghost Precision Trigger Job. I think the name of the company's Gray.
Bruce Gray's.
Bruce Gray's Trigger Jobs. He does trigger jobs on SIGs.
Gray's Precision or Gray? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look up Bruce Gray, Gray's Guns. That's who it is.
There you go.
I should know this because he literally is in Oregon. So.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't expect you to know everyone in the state, but I'm just saying, if you have a a P320, you can piece this together on your own. You don't have to drop.
Back to Bruce Gray. We're old, so I remember years ago when I shot USPSA at the bigger matches, I would see him there. So.
Oh, was that when them Fantangle Glocks were just starting to come out?
Oh,
yeah.
And here's something else I want to throw out because, I mean, we've talked about it. Zane put it out there. This doesn't have cuts for an optic.
No.
Guess what? For about $855, you can buy a SIG 320X compact with the cutout for the optic.
Yeah, it's 2020. Where's your slide cutout?
I'm just saying they don't have it. So right. I'm like, I just find that fun. Oh, I'm sorry. That's with the Romeo 1 optic attached. So,
there you go.
Pretty much you can buy a better gun straight from SIG with an optic already on it, 2 15-round magazines, and just have your trigger cut done.
Yeah, I know.
And it comes with all the extras and the bells and whistles.
Well, even SIG. Like the SIG X carries or whatever. Is that the one you were talking about, or just the?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's the P320X compact.
Yep. They make
RXP. Yeah,
they make a full size one too. SIG does. So there you go.
So I'm saying you get that, and you're done. And by the way, I love it when they point out that we cut forward slide serrations. P320s come with forward slide serrations, like stock. It's like, so you cut yours, but if you want something from Wilson Combat and that's your thing. There you go.
Exactly.
A minute, Tony. You had Chad put this in the notes just so you could trash it.
Oh, I thought I said that. I had Chad put these in the notes so I could trash it. And then I came to the conclusion that pretty much Wilson is charging the going rate for pimping out a P320.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything against it. It's just not really my
Something
cup of
I do.
tea.
Not at
Yeah,
all.
but
Not at
hey,
all.
exactly. I mean, it's not like I have anything against it. So that was the Wilson Combat WCP 320. If anybody is interested, next up is something that's a little more interesting to me, maybe not to other people. But Vortex brought out a Strike Eagle in the 5 to 25 by 56 first focal plane. MSRP is $799.99. Now,
Hmm.
see, Rob's interested. Uh, this
That's
is,
right.
of course, their Strike Eagle line, so it's less expensive. It does have a 30 millimeter tube, uh, illuminated reticle. If I did not
I
say
think it's
that,
34 millimeter.
yeah, it is. Uh, It does have their Rev Stop Zero system for
He said 30.
setting a. I did. Hey, whatever. For returning to zero. Also locking turrets so they stay put, so you don't bump them around. You know, because of the large 34 millimeter tube, you get huge amounts of windage and elevation. Elevation adjustment is 110 MOA. Windage is 78 MOA. You get 25 MOA travel per rotation of the dial. They are locking their quarter MOA adjustments on this particular one. They do have an MRAD reticle, but it's I'm just going to go over this one. The field of view is 24 feet or at and to 5.2 feet. The you can parallax set it from 15 yards to infinity, so even if you're shooting like a extreme long range 22, it probably will go down close enough that you can still focus it correctly. It is 14.6 inches long and it does weigh 30.4 ounces. We're talking almost 2 pounds there. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Of course, it has low dispersion light, multi-coated, glass edged reticle, pretty much all the standard stuff. It does have their warranty on it, which is great. The reticle is a Christmas tree reticle. They have a list of it on their subtensions, but basically, I like the reticle because I like Christmas tree reticles. Some people find them too busy. But this one even goes, you have subtensions going up. So, like if you're shooting closer than whatever you have it zeroed for, you can shoot it closer. And instead of hold over, it's hold under. That I kind of like with the reticle. I think Vortex realized that they are having other companies come out with stuff that's very similar for, in that price range. So I think they brought this out for that. I mean, I don't know what the glass is like on it, but I'm assuming it's fairly decent. I mean, it's not, razor glass, but then again, you don't expect it from the Strike Eagle line. There, I think I'm done. Rob, you got anything? You sure you're not? I can't hear Rob anyway. Tony,
Yeah,
Oh,
I got nothing. Oh,
can you
okay.
hear me
There
now?
you go. Go
I
ahead,
can
Rob.
hear you now, Rob.
I just hit the mute on my microphone so you
Oh.
wouldn't, so I wouldn't have to bug you. I kind of like this. I knew they were coming out with a new one. I got a few emails from them, this, that, and the other. I've got a couple Vortex scopes, and I do like first focal plane. But yeah, I wouldn't expect crystal clear glass from an $800 scope, but you never know. I mean, it's $800 MSRP, so you probably pick it up about $750.
Oh, for Vortex, probably 700
Cool.
would be
I
my
mean,
guess. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a decent place to be in the market. I mean, a 5 to 25, like I was saying, if you're shooting like the 22 long range that go out to like 200 yards or so. This might be a really good scope for that, something like that. It's not
200. They can
well
push that to 500 easy.
with a
Not with a 22 long rifle.
LR. You
Oh,
can
oh,
shoot
you're saying
500 yards?
22 long rifle.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying,
not-
I heard 200-yard range. I'm like, boop. Okay, yeah.
yeah. No, with a long rifle, something like that. Yes, and or you could put it on whatever, but that's kind of what I was thinking would be a great spot for it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Tony-
I've got a 308 bolt action rifle that might need a new scope.
Yeah, that's always good.
Well, I just
Yeah.
picked up a 3 to 9 Nikon, just for accuracy testing at 100 yards with different rifles. You know what I mean? Because shooting iron sight's not really fair. Trying to tell somebody the accuracy of something when I'm old, and it is what it is. I can have good days, I can have bad days. You know how it is, especially shooting iron sights. Your eyes get tired. So I figure, hey, pick up an optic and do it to it. And then I'm looking at this, going, if I wasn't so cheap.
Exactly. Now, I get what you're saying because, like, we do reviews and stuff. So, like, one time I had a scope mounted to my 7.5-inch AR because the barrel was here for a review, and I needed to be able to see what I was shooting because iron sights or a dot weren't going to do it justice.
Yeah.
So, I had this scope mounted on an AR, and it was practically as long as the stupid AR, but and it looked hilarious, but it did what I needed it to do. Yeah, something like this would be great.
Yeah, because I'm like, dude, it's really hard. At distance, like I shoot my irons for my entertainment. Old school, the way I used to compete. Iron sights, 100 yards, good to go.
They had
But if
iron
I'm-
sights back in the 1700s?
Of course, they had iron sights. What, you think they had red dots?
Yeah,
No, I
it's
thought it was
barrel.
just a dot on the front.
But yeah. So this is interesting. Doesn't cost a lot. Even in their own video, they talked about how it's not the equivalent of because this is a Strike Eagle. What's the Viper? They were like, their glass isn't the same.
Or the
glass is
razor,
not
or
the same.
yeah.
Yeah. But they freely admit that. But I'm like, how bad really is Vortex glass, though, when you're talking about it?
It's not that bad.
Well, and like I always say, Strike Eagle glass compared to, glass that cost $1,500 back in 1985,
Mhm.
this glass is like 50 times better just
Yeah.
because.
I like the FFP designation they put on it.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I've had I got a Vortex scope that the illumination went out on it. I called them up and they said, "Okay, ship it to us. We'll ship you a new one."
Yeah.
And here's the hint: I just put it in a generic box and kept all the shims and all the other crap that came with it. I sent it to them. They sent me back a scope with a new. It had all the crap that came in the box.
Right.
The sunshade, more ring, more shims, more everything. It's like they went over, grabbed the new box, and sent it back to me. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, they literally probably just pulled one out of stock. And
Oh yeah, I
That's
didn't get
all right.
the original scope that I sent back. They probably just threw that in the to be repaired pile.
right. I
Smart
think
move,
you're
though,
right.
keeping everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it makes great for their
No, I'm what you call
shot
a
show
cheap
exhibits.
Never mind.
No,
Well,
I
I
was talking
figured-
about them.
Oh, well, I'll figure if you don't keep everything, you hook up with a company that just fixes your thing and sends it back, and now you have to buy everything all over it.
That's
They
what I
don't-
was thinking, but I got a new scope, brand new scope, new everything. I'm like, cool. So now I got 2 sunshades. Sweet.
Yep.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, you drop the scope or you drop the sunshade and it gets dinged up and now you can't screw it in. Oh, throw it away. I got a new one at the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
Anyways,
But yeah, I was kind of excited for it. I'm like, yeah, and I'm guessing they do a lot more in this price range than they do their higher priced scopes. Just because, I mean, a lot of people are not going to spend $1,500 to $2,500 on glass, and they're looking at this going, yeah, I'll spend $700 for something adequate for them.
Mhm.
That's my opinion. Okay, well, that was the new Strike Eagle by Vortex. Now we're on to something small that, yeah, I hesitate to say Tony could afford it, but he might be able to. That is Tyrant Designs came out with an extended slide release for Glock. MSRP is only $27.95. That's a plus. It's not super extended. It's not like raised up like the one Zane reviewed a while back. It is just a machined, slightly larger slide stop. It has grooves in it. You know, it's a little larger. It's tapered. You can get it in a bunch of different colors: red, blue, gold, black. I mean, there's probably something else I'm forgetting. It's for pre-order right now. You can also get gray, and gold. I don't really like the standard Glock ones. They're a little funky to me. This one sticks out a little more. Not much by the looks of it. It does brighten it up a little bit. It's inexpensive. You know, I've seen some of their stuff in person, and it's decent stuff, so I just figured I'd throw it out there. They say it's got comfortable chamfered edges, deep chevron machine slots. That's for the added grip. Chamfers top and bottom so you don't cut yourself on them. And then the colors. And it's the whole piece, spring, everything. You just basically drive a pin out and drive it in. You're good to go. They're going to market it. They're going to have it for, this one is for G17, 19s, etc. Let's see. They're going to come out with Glock option 1 is the Gen 2 through 4. Option 2 is 42, 43, 43X, and 48s. And then also for Gen 5s, 17, 19s, 19X, etc. So those are them. Zane dropped off, so we can't really say what his thoughts are on it since he's the actual 100% Glock lover. Rob, Tony?
Who cares about what Zane thinks?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it still has the same recoil because it's not reduced ammo.
Oh, you know Zane uses those reduced ammo 9mm rounds.
That's why he knows about Winchester White Box.
Nice.
Yeah, unless you want one, I don't use those. I've got one on one of my Glocks, but I just don't see the point in it because the only thing I use the slide catch for is honestly just to lock the slide back. Other than that, I just slingshot it when I need to do a racket.
Yeah, if mine's locked back, I use them as an actual release.
I mean, because I got to the point where I just rotate my shooting arm about a quarter turn, if that, inward, and just use my non-dominant hand just to rack it back and boom, I'm done. Now, I mean, I know there are some people that don't have the upper body strength to do that. Maybe this would help them let the slide go.
Yeah, I don't know. It takes a lot of effort to drop the slide with a Glock.
True.
One. I actually just use them because, for one, you can do them single-handed. So, which if you have to slingshot the slide, you can't.
Now, if you like this and you want to make your slide release be gray or blue or pink or red or black or whatever, any other color but black, hey, you know.
Yeah, even the black one, I think, like for me, I think I'd get a better grip on it because the Glock ones are kind of smooth and yeah. If you've shot a Glock, you know what I mean.
It's a tab.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I have no problem with it, but yeah, mostly I slingshot, I think. Actually, I've done both because the different classes I took, and I just wanted to be able to do either one. And I'm looking, hey, kudos for coming out with something for a Gen 2, since nobody makes anything for Gen 2 Glocks at this point.
Well, that's, in my opinion, a lot of the Gen 2 parts, like a slide release, are pretty much the same as a Gen 3, but there's other minor differences.
And I also, I mean, I'm the dude that leaves most everything stock, even though sometimes I think I want to pimp something out. But hey, listen, if you want to run the slide, using that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, and it's not like it's not like you're spending $800 on a part or even $300 on a slide. It's $27.95. So.
Yeah, because they have other things they make, like the slide release, like the mag release. At least I saw it in one of their pictures.
Oh yeah, they make all kinds of other stuff.
Well, I
fine.
just figure you can like zhuzh it up a little bit, make it look cool, whatever.
Ooh, zhuzh.
Zhuzh it up.
There you go, man.
Wendy Williams word.
Okay. Well, that was the Tyrant Designs clock extended slide release. Listener feedback, we didn't really have any, but I will say we are thinking of doing another listener episode, question episode. So
You monk.
Tony, you're live.
we are thinking of doing that. I'm thinking about maybe doing something special for the people that send in actual questions. I haven't got everything situated yet, so I'm just saying start thinking about stuff like that. And now Tony can tell us all about his diversity shoots or lack thereof, because everything seems to be closed down if you want to be within 5 meters of somebody.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, you're live. You were live
Oh.
earlier.
Oh, dude, it froze. It just was not doing anything. Hey, second is for everyone diversity shoot. Everything's on pause till we find out what's going on. But I'm trying to gear up to have a few things coming on when we come back. We got a women's class. We got a women's handgun class. We got a guys handgun class coming up. We're gonna do the diversity shoot. I'm talking to somebody to try to get us legal classes going, also at the range. So I have stuff in the works. Also, High Point contacted me, so we're gonna do a friggin' High Point carbine giveaway. And I still got the Boogaloo giveaway. I really need to set up, advertise, and get out there with it so people can know how to donate. If you go to diversityshoot.com, you can look at the several ways you can donate to us, from becoming a patron and helping support our podcast and the work we do, to just donating on, hey, what's that thing? GoFundMe. You can do that. And also, we still have T-shirts, regular T-shirts, 2A4E shirts, rally shirts, still on sale for $10. I don't get anything for that. But I think once we get back on, I think there'll be a lot of protests happening around the country over the Second Amendment and the crap they tried to pull using the virus as an excuse. So shirts are going to be $10 on sale. The blue ones they call rally shirts. If you want to support us, you can spend $25 to get the fundraising shirt, or you can buy the Bubbles swag. The Tony Simon Says Hello from Planet Lovetron. The funds from that are split between myself and Aaron Paulette's Operation Blazing Swords, the LGBTQ fundraiser to help train people from that community. It's really important work that's getting done by some amazing people that I'm lucky enough to work with. And if you want to support us, please do. Again, go to diversityshoot.com and you can do that. Thanks a lot, as always. And I appreciate you guys listening and donating to what we do. And thanks for having me on the show to talk about this every week.
No problem. So send questions, comments, feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com, or you can contact us on Facebook, Instagram. You know how it works. Go pledge your support at gunandgearcult.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Don't forget to also check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And as always, thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network. I'm done.
And stay safe. Wait a minute. No, wrong show.
Whatever. Bye.
Bye.